That song is called Morning Prayer, I Will Surrender by Karen Drucker. And I actually think that for the Adventures in Faith, this 7-week study that we will be doing on the book called The Universe Has Your Back, Transform Fear to Faith by Gabrielle Bernstein, I think it's actually the theme song for this 7 weeks. And I'll say a little bit more about that. So how many of you actually have this book? Okay. And how many of you signed up for the Soul Circles? Great. So if you don't have the book, I highly recommend it. I believe we have some more in our bookstore here at Unity, or you can go online to what is called Bookshop / shop / Unity Santa Fe. And if you purchase your book through there, they actually give part of their proceeds and such back to Unity. So pick up a book. And if you haven't joined a Soul Circle, I personally am doing one on Zoom on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. And I am not full up. So I can take more people if you would like to join that. But you need to let me know today. Either in person, you can let me know, or send me an email, revliz@Unity Santa Fe, because we could take more people. I can definitely do that. And Brendan, do you have room in your Tuesday night? The voice.
I do.
So Wednesday,
No, I totally
Tuesday night in person here at Unity at 6:30, you can join Brendan. But again, let him know today, because we would need to get you some information about what to do to be prepared for the first class. So this is happening. And let's see what is happening. Oh, back to the song. Morning Prayer, I Will Surrender. And who's it by? Karen Drucker. I am going to recommend or suggest you can go to YouTube and put Morning Prayer, I Will Surrender, Karen Drucker, and you can listen to this. And I would suggest for the next 7 weeks, listen to it, maybe daily, or when you're reading the book, before or after reading the book, play the song. Because I think it really speaks in music language what this class is about. The universe has your back. I believe it has our front too, right? And it's about transforming our fear into faith. So how many of you ever feel anxious or worried or fearful or doubtful or insecure? Okay, this is part of the human condition. And her main premise is that we have all been raised and conditioned, as Don Miguel Ruiz would say, domesticated by fear. We live in a fear-based society. There's no doubt that that isn't the truth. And you're ever feeling happy and everything is going well, but then you start wondering, when is it going to end? Right? Do you do that? When will the other shoe drop? This isn't going to last. We have that tendency. And Gabrielle speaks about this, and we've got all these little pink tabs. They were as close as I could get to red. She says, you may be doing all you can to create freedom, connect to flow, and release your fear-based habits. But it's likely that the moment you feel some sense of relief, you're blindsided by the shadow of fear that dwells below the surface. You may not have recognized this pattern before, but when you begin to recognize it, you begin your journey to freedom. That's the primary reason for our unhappiness. She says we actually resist happiness because we think it's not going to last, and we kind of have this fear underneath. She goes on to say, the presence of fear within will do whatever it takes to keep you stuck in pain and darkness. This fear is the root cause of all our problems and the feelings of disconnect. To truly say yes to the love of the universe means you have to look at your resistance and give up a thought system that you have mistakenly identified as safety, security, and the foundation of your life. Sounds interesting. This is the journey we're going to be on for the next 7 weeks. Now, the focus, she goes on to say, is that we can become free from our fear and have freedom by surrendering to love. Surrender to love as often as possible. And there's going to be exercises and contemplations throughout this next 7 weeks that will help us. And all we have to do is be open and willing to release any fears that have blocked our energy. The Course in Miracles says, we must not seek for the meaning of love, but instead seek to remove all the barriers to love's presence. We're seeking to remove all the barriers to love's presence. Love's presence never leaves us. We leave it in our consciousness. I love this. So my question to you is, what radio station are you tuned into? Is it K-Fear or K-Love? You have a choice. There's two vibrational energies happening, and you can tune into K-Fear. Just turn on the news. You'll be tuned in, probably to the K-Fear. Or you can go to the K-Love. Now, she says, and this is our motto for our adventures in faith. And let's go to the next tab. And let's see if I got these in order. The universal lesson, because she has a lot of universal lessons, and I think it's important, are happiness, success, and safety can be measured by our genuine capacity to tune in to the loving vibration of the universe. Okay, that's a lot of words. Our happiness, success, and safety can be measured by our genuine capacity to tune in to the loving vibration of the universe. The thing is we don't often tap into that. We don't tune into it. And part of that is really because when we are born, whenever we feel anxious or worried, afraid, we have separated. Anytime you feel anxious, fearful, afraid, insecure, doubtful, that means you've separated from the love of the universe. And separating from that love, we're in that K-Fear. So we want to return to love and return to the presence of love that is always with us. And we have to do that through this thing called the mind, by surrendering and trusting the universe as our backs 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Now, she says, and this is another good quote. I mean, I have outlined all of this book pretty much. She says, being in union with the energy of the universe is like an awesome dance where you trust your partner so much that you just surrender to the beat of the music. When you begin to dance with the energy of the universe, your life flows naturally. Incredible synchronicity presents itself, creative solutions abound, and you experience freedom. I'm into that. I want to dance with the universe, right? Now, why don't we dance with the universe? When we're born as babies and children, we pretty much are totally dependent on those parental units or whoever our caregivers are. And we don't know any better. And then we get let down. There is a letdown. It always happens. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes we have abuse, intentional or unintentional. We get disappointed, or there's a break in trust with those people that we're depending, our life depends upon. Now, the question is, How easy is it to trust an invisible, intangible energy that it's not going to let us down or abandon us? We may have felt abandoned. I think Jesus, the great way shower, even said the words, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Even the great way shower had his moments where he was having a kefir moment, but he brought himself back. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring ourselves back to surrendering to the universe. It's easy to say the word surrender to this universe, but is it as easy to do? It actually takes practice, and that's what this book will offer us in our study. Now, this is when life becomes really interesting, even more interesting, because whatever we're experiencing in life may not even actually be reality. It actually becomes our projection of our beliefs, our experiences of the past. And our projection is coming from we're projecting out onto the world, whatever we perceive. And what we perceive is based in our beliefs and things that we've experienced. Yeah, that's when it gets really interesting. The Course in Miracles teaches projection is perception. I'm only seeing in you what is in me. I never see anybody as they are. I only see them as I am. Right? So here's a few examples from my life. There was a man that I worked with in Warrior Sage, and his name was Sean. And Sean was a military man, and we were co-leaders, co-chiefs. But he didn't see me as a co-anything. I was down here in the ranks, and we were operating a 200-people 5-day retreat. And anything that people came to me, the 20 staff, to ask me something, to what was their need to do, he would totally slap it down. Like I was devastated. I was having a hard time because Sean does not like me. Sean doesn't like me. And he treats me really bad, and I felt hurt. I wanted to quit. I tried to quit. And yet Spirit wanted me to do some healing work. Where I started with this one was called, because I had this belief, Sean does not like me. Look, there's proof. He's laughing and talking to these people, but with me, no. Okay, I have a belief. I have put a frame around Sean. He doesn't like me. I need to change that belief. So for me to say Sean likes me was too difficult to start with. So I said, well, other people like me. I like me. That kind of softened it. Sean likes me. And I started to say that over and over and over and over. And I don't know what happened, but somehow something shifted in this frame. Sean likes me. I was able to work with him, and whatever he was doing does not bother me. I had one person come up to me and go, "How can you work with him?" I'm like, I can't. Now, I still tended to my inner children when he was being whatever he was being, but I shifted my perception. Another example, my second one, is when I became a licensed minister and to be called Reverend, Reverend Liz. I did not want the title. I found myself resistant. I don't want to be called Rev. And I was like, what is that about? And so I did a little writing, and I realized that the two ministers that I saw in the organization I was with, both of them endured pain and some suffering. One was physical pain, one was more of an emotional pain. And I had an association that said, being a minister is painful, and I don't want that. Whoa, isn't that a trip that there was this thought that I needed to correct and not have that run me. So I did some writing, and I said, this is not going to be our story. I am choosing to have a life of joy and freedom and fun and connection with others. I'm not buying into that thought. So now you can call me Rev Liz, right? You can call me Rev. I'm good. I'm revved up. But again, it took some shift of consciousness. And the statement that Gabrielle says, she says, what we need to do is catch those fearful thoughts. You notice them. And they're sneaky, and things will trigger them. Yeah, they're sneaky, those fearful stories. You think you got it handled, now something comes along, and you get triggered. Our deal is we want to catch those stories and see it differently. One of the things I love about Gabrielle Bernstein is that she has little statements throughout her book. This one I loved. She has a statement. She just says, "Thank you, universe, for helping me heal this. I forgive and release this thought, and I choose to see love instead." It's short, it's sweet, and it powers right through that thought. I'm going to choose to see it from love, as love. So we don't often realize that we're projecting onto the world. We think it's all reality. It's all perception, and it's coming from here. And the truth is, we're all makers of our own movies. Today's talk title is What's Your Movie? So the truth is, we are the screenplay writers, the directors. We are actually the projector of our movies. So I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes. Take a couple breaths. And as you become centered, invite you to imagine a movie screen in your mind. See a movie screen. And now, what are the fear-based stories from the past that are playing on your internal movie screen? We all have fear-based stories from the past. And so we just identify, notice what shows up without judgment. Now notice, what are the fear-based projections you have about the future? Again, just simply notice what comes to mind, no judgment. The key to your freedom begins with awareness. Good. And now imagine yourself in the projector booth, removing the movie reel from your inner projector. See yourself releasing it, and you're placing a new reel in the projector. Now breathe. And now contemplate, what are the love-based empowering stories? The love-based empowering stories that you're replaying in your head. Simply notice, comes to mind to the screen. And now, very important, what love-based empowering story would you love to see and experience in your life beginning today? What is that movie entitled for the next portion of your life? Good. And now just take a breath and release and gently open your eyes. Were you able to connect to a fear-based or worried story? I would imagine. Were you able to see a love-based, empowering story? One of the first keys is to realign with love, is to recognize your story and change the real from REEL to REAL, knowing that you're making something real different because you're choosing something different. One of the statements that she again uses in her book is, I witness that I'm out of alignment with my power. I witness that I'm out of alignment with my power. I choose to see love instead of this. This is a practice. This isn't something you can just like zap, I'm doing it every day. But it's a practice. That's why we're doing this for 7 weeks. And there's little pieces and parts every week that we will move more into. So let us grow in our awareness that the universe really does have our backs. It has our backs. I have a statement that some of you know, and if you call my phone and leave a message, the universe is absolutely crazy about me. The universe is absolutely crazy about you. I invite you to start contemplating that the universe is absolutely crazy about you. Let's say it together and say it as it's crazy about me. The universe is absolutely crazy about me. Say that often. It will start to shift how you see things. You could say the opposite. The universe is out to get me, and trust me, you'll see evidence of that too. You have the screen, what you're projecting. So let us use our spiritual awareness and our practices to move us out of fear, knowing that love will show the way. And so it is.